Hi guys, welcome back to the Welsh Political Explainers YouTube channel. My name is Lewis and I'm currently a final fourth year university student studying politics at Cardiff University. So I started the channel because I felt there was an extreme lack of online content relating to Welsh politics, Welsh history and Welsh geography. So I wanted to change that just a little. So that's the main reason as to why I obviously made the channel. So in this video I wanted to take a look at Brexit and whether the process has been positive, negative or neutral from a Welsh perspective. I also wanted to take a look at how Brexit specifically affects Wales because I think it's something that's underrepresented because Brexit is typically looked at as something that affects England or the whole UK in general. I wanted to thank this commenter who suggested that I do a video about Brexit in Wales, as although I did plan to do a video on Brexit, it was very much sort of down the laundry list of things that I wanted to cover in the first few videos on the channel. And so without their suggestion, I don't think I would have had the initial idea to do this video. Furthermore, with the resignation of Boris Johnson as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in the last week or so, the future connotations of Brexit have been thrown up into uncertainty, and so now is a better time than any to take a look at this topic and how it affects Wales specifically. To begin, in order to understand how Brexit has affected Wales, we first need to look at exactly what Brexit is. The term Brexit refers to the United Kingdom's withdrawal from the European Union, or the EU. The UK first joined the EU in 1973, and ever since its first joining, there have been calls from all across the political spectrum in the UK for the country to cease its membership of the organisation. In 2016, these calls were realised when the UK voted in a countrywide referendum to leave the European Union by a margin of around 51.89% to 48.11% to leave the European Union. In the referendum, Scotland and Northern Ireland voted to remain within the European Union. Meanwhile, a majority of people in the UK, shared between England and Wales, voted to leave it. The referendum had also been called by Prime Minister David Cameron in an attempt to deal with calls from his own backbench MPs to withdraw from the organisation. These MPs are known as what are called Eurosceptic, which means they had long been against the UK's continued membership of the European Union. Prime Minister David Cameron has supported the UK remaining inside the European Union and therefore resigned after the referendum's results became publicly known. Following this, the process of leaving the EU became very laborious and drawn out. It took 4 years and 2 other prime ministers before a withdrawal agreement was reached between the UK and the EU that could be approved by both sides. Then in 2019, Boris Johnson won a massive parliamentary majority in that year's snap UK-wide general election on the basis of ending the political gridlock that had been caused by the Brexit withdrawal process. Prime Minister Theresa May had reached her own withdrawal agreement with the EU, although this could never be approved by the House of Commons, and there was a lot of disagreement about her plans for the whole Brexit process and whether Brexit should even happen at all. The UK formally left the European Union and its various institutions on the 31st of January 2020 and negotiated a trade and cooperation agreement with the bloc that came into force on the 1st of January 2021. Since then, the UK has ceased to be a member of various European-level organisations, but has remained a committed member of the military alliance NATO, or the North Atlantic Treaty Organisation. Now that we have taken a look at what exactly Brexit is, we can also take a more nuanced look at how the whole process has specifically affected Wales and whether it has been beneficial or disadvantageous to Wales as a part of the UK. As previously mentioned, Wales voted to leave the European Union along with England, while Scotland and Northern Ireland did not. However, while voters in Wales did vote to leave the organisation, there was no strict definition as to what kind of Brexit people in Wales voted for. Therefore, the Welsh Government took a much different stance on the Brexit issue than the UK governments under Johnson and May, as the Welsh governments of Carwyn Jones and Mark Drakeford advocated for a much closer relationship with the EU than the one that was eventually negotiated by Boris Johnson's UK government. The negotiations on Brexit were handled by the UK government and not the Welsh government, so the perspective of the Welsh government mattered very little in determining the outcome of the negotiations. A collaborative approach to negotiations was very much not taken by the UK government, and so the devolved government in Wales seems to have been treated somewhat unfavourably, with the concerns not being given significant attention by the various UK governments during Brexit negotiations. There was also the same problem for the Scottish Government and the Northern Ireland Executive, as their respective governments were also very much marginalised by the UK Government throughout Brexit negotiations. Economically, there seems to be an academic consensus that Brexit has not largely been beneficial to Wales, as the EU was the most valuable international trading partner for Wales and the rest of the UK, accounting for approximately 43% and 52% of total UK exports and imports respectively in 2019. Although despite this, commerce between the EU and the UK, including Wales, is becoming increasingly difficult. According to research from the Wales Centre for Public Policy, the post-Brexit trading arrangements between the UK and the EU have led to large disruptions for many businesses across Wales, particularly those in sectors that previously depended on seamless border processes, such as agriculture, automotive, and aerospace. Wales was also a large recipient of EU structural funding to aid with its economic development to a much greater degree than any other country or region of the UK, so Brexit means that Wales then lost access to these structural funds to the tune of £1.404 billion between 2021 and 2025, with the UK government replacement funding not covering nearly as vast an amount of money, with Welsh government figures showing that the UK government only planned to spend £632 million as part of its post-Brexit UK-wide Shared Prosperity Fund. This represents a total loss of £772 billion in funding for social and economic development spending across Wales between 2021 and 2025. Obviously, this is a net negative for anyone who cares about the adequate funding of social and public services in Wales. Politically, alongside the marginalisation of the Welsh Government's positions on Brexit, there have also been a plethora of other political effects of Brexit upon Wales. As previously discussed in other videos, Brexit has had a significant impact upon the Scottish independence debate and has caused a resurgence in discussion around Scottish independence to occur. This has had knock-on effects for Wales, with the Scottish independence debate causing many people across Wales to support their own country's independence from the rest of the UK. The topic of Welsh independence is now discussed very openly by different political parties in Wales, such as Plaid Cymru, while this might have never been the case if the Brexit referendum had never happened. The campaign group Yes Cymru, which advocate for Welsh independence on a non-partisan basis, have now gained more popularity or notoriety, depending on how you feel about it, than ever. So given this, I think Brexit has potentially changed Welsh political discourse fundamentally moving forward. The final impact of Brexit upon Wales might be the most important of all, and it relates to the previous point about the rise of the Welsh and Scottish independence debate, and may well prove to be Brexit's most lasting legacy. This would mean that Brexit could ultimately cause the breakup of the United Kingdom into 4 separate countries, with Scotland, England and Wales gaining international acceptance as separate countries and Northern Ireland reuniting with the Irish Republic through Irish reunification. Although this may seem very unlikely, if not outright impossible to many, the fact that it is even discussed as a possibility shows how much constitutional change that Brexit has been for Wales and the rest of the United Kingdom as a whole. That pretty much covers everything I wanted to talk about in this video. Brexit has definitely been a monumental event in British politics and has had profound consequences upon Wales, despite however underreported these effects may be. We have discussed some, but obviously not all of the effects of Brexit upon Wales. Unfortunately, many of these seem to have negative connotations, but Boris Johnson's resignation as Prime Minister has thrown up the UK's post-Brexit political future into increasing uncertainty, and so the effects of Brexit upon Wales may well prove to continue to change well into the future. I hope this video goes some way in providing better detail on how Brexit affects Wales specifically, rather than the rest of the UK as a whole. Some factors, such as the loss of EU structural funding, are detrimental specifically to Wales. Meanwhile, other factors, such as the rising Scottish independence debate, have had very unanticipated effects upon Wales, which will continue to change and evolve differently in the future, depending on outside factors, such as if Scotland does manage to achieve its own independence from the rest of the UK. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. I really appreciate it if you made it to this point. If you found the video useful or interesting, please share it with another curious friend. I'd really appreciate it. Let me know how you think Brexit has affected Wales down in the comments section. Also remember to subscribe to the channel because it'll make sure that you don't miss the next video whenever I get around to uploading it. New videos are uploaded every Wednesday. On a final note, if you're interested in keeping up with me, then give me a follow over on Twitter at Welsh Explainers, or there's also an Instagram for the channel at Welsh Political Explainers. So thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you very much. Bye.